Welcome. I'm Stephen Garvey, founder, leader of National Citizens Alliance NCA, PM candidate 2019. And the NCA will be running candidates in 2019 on a pro Canadian, anti globalist, Canadian first, Canada first agenda. So please support us. We have to do a lot of draining this year, and this is a great opportunity for Canadians. We are true grassroots, true uncontrolled opposition. So I'm going to get into a number of issues tonight, and I'm just going to touch on them. The purpose of tonight is to share our perspective with you, but also get your feedback. So this is a dialogue taking place. We will look at the comments, so please share your feedback. And if this presentation tonight resonates with you, connects with you, then share the event with your friends. Share this presentation with your friends. I'm going to get into the first issue. I just want to make sure everyone knows that we have an event taking place in Lloydminster, Saskatchewan, and this is at 11 a.m. on Saturday. And this is on the theme of Canadian nationalism versus globalism UN. And this is NCA sponsored, funded, organized Yellow Vest event. And on the same day in St. John, New Brunswick, there's an NCA Yellow Vest rally, anti-UN, anti-globalism, pro-Canadian. And that's at the St. John City Hall. So please make sure you come out to these events, and we want to hear from you. It's all about you, the people, the Canadian people. Remember that. NCA is just a vehicle. Our role in Yellow Vest is very simple. Myself, the NCA team, is using our policies and platform to support Yellow Vest. That's what we're doing. We're using it to support Yellow Vest, the anti-globalist, anti-UN fraction of Yellow Vest. So please remember that. And we are the only party running in 2019 that has directly supported Yellow Vest. Remember that too. So we don't have to be doing this. Remember that. But we are anti-globalists, so we would be contradicting ourselves if we didn't support the anti-globalist Yellow Vest version. So that's why we do what we do. And as far as we're concerned, no one owns Yellow Vest. No one owns it. And there's different fractions in Canada, and they think they own it. They have manifestos. They have dictates, and they want everyone to conform to them. Well, that's what we're against. We're against top-down governance like we have in Ottawa. That's been going on for decades. So we're certainly not going to tolerate that in this Yellow Vest, which is supposed to be 100% grassroots. And for those people out there who say that Yellow Vest is not political, well, that is absolutely absurd. Yellow Vest is 1,000,000,000% political. It has to be political. And all the people that support us know that. But there's people out there saying it's nonpartisan. That is absurd. This is a political movement against the globalist establishment in France and worldwide. End of story. So don't get played. There's Antifa. There's globalist organizations that are infiltrating Yellow Vest for their own purposes. They fear NCA and other like-minded organizations. So that's why they're doing it. And, unfortunately, I've got wind of, some people in Lloydminster. They were actually dividing us now for this thing on Saturday. Can you believe it? And these people are just I don't know. They're either ignorant, indoctrinated. They're caught in the old way of thinking: left, right, liberal, conservative. They're thinking it's dinosaur thinking. It's not real life. It's not reality. The liberal and conservatives are just flip sides of the globalist coin. That's all there is to it, and I will show that tonight. But for those people out there dividing, well, divide all you want. We don't care. We don't care what you do. We're doing what we're doing, and it is what it is. Apparently, someone made a threat against me. That's how bad it is getting in Canada, that these people fear free speech. They don't want other people speaking, so they utter threats. They think they think they own some kind of town or something. This is the absurdity in Canada right now. We live in a very toxic, divisive society, and I believe truly that it stems from very poor leadership or non-existent leadership in Canada at all levels of government. And it's been this way, not just the current federal government, the previous government, etc. But this is a very toxic, politically correct society we live in now, and this is something NCA wants to clean up. It's very disappointing. It doesn't have to be this way. And our message last Saturday was love for all Canadians, love for our people, and yet we still get people criticizing us, saying we're working with Antifa, like these people need to go to a mental health clinic. Or there's other people saying we're working with the far extreme right. It's just insane what's going on, and but we view ourselves as sanity, in the middle, and we're providing leadership. So, and this country desperately needs leadership because we don't have it. We got lots of globalist sellouts and lots of indoctrinated Canadians, misinformed Canadians who are manipulated, and we're trying to break through that. And one of our members made a good point. They said when you shine the light into the darkness, which the NCA is doing, we're exposing all the lies and manipulation that the darkness comes around, and that's what's happening. We will continue to shine the light, but we rely on the Canadian people. So join NCA. Join us. We need you. The bigger we are, the bigger our light will be. And I couldn't believe this. I got a comment on this. Where is it here? Oh, yeah. This is on apparently a bunch of websites. Yellow Vest sites were taken down because they were uttering threats against Trudeau. And one of the biggest sites, Yellow Vest Canada, was taken down. They were saying kill Trudeau, hang Trudeau, shoot Trudeau. Wish a sharpshooter would put a bullet in his head. All this kind of hate speech and threats. Well, we condemn that. We don't want anything to do with those threats, and that's the madness in our society, and the lack of leadership, and the divisive politics. As far as we're concerned, we're the only leaders in this country. The ones in Ottawa are just playing the division game. They aren't real leaders. They're just globalist sellouts. But look at this. Uttering threats, kill Trudeau. We would never say that. We want to remove Trudeau. And we would love to try him for any treason. But we certainly do not wish ill will on him and his family. At the end of the day, he is a Canadian. And that is wrong. So anyone out there saying Facebook was wrong to take those sites down, well, we frankly disagree. They shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff. And that's something we don't associate with, uttering death threats to people using free speech. And he was elected, and that's complete violation of our democracy. So there you have that. But it is what it is. But we associate with the anti-globalist, anti-UN fraction of yellow vest. And I'm going to shift now. I just want to shine the light on the darkness in our country. So I will continue to shine the light. This happened this week. Actually, I'm going to come back to I'm going to come back to that. But this is former Prime Minister Harper, who we view as a globalist. He was in India. Can you believe that? This former Prime Minister was in India, and he's working for the globalist liberals. And that just proves it right there that these globalists, conservative, liberal, whatever you want to call them, they're all working together. They're all flip sides of the same thing. And then what's worse with this, he went to this conference, which was full of globalists. Razina Dialogue 2019. And it says right here, a world of reorder. Quote, a world of reorder, all about sustainable development, climate change, global world order. And they had all these globalist politicians there, former ones. Even the former Afghan president who was involved in corruption, stealing our money. It is unbelievable. But that's what was going on. It just shows it right there. Here it is here. His name was Hamid Karzai. Remember him? He stole an actual report came out of the Karzai government. All the money we gave to Afghanistan over a decade, most of it's been stolen, taken for corrupt purposes. And yet that guy's at the dialogue with Harper. And then we got Tony Blair there, who's a globalist. And the Swedish Prime Minister, Carl Bildt, former, who's a globalist. So this is all global world order. So this is reality. This isn't made up. So you do your own research. You do your own research on this. And then here, today, United Nations instructs, I quote, instructs Canada to suspend Site C dam construction over Indigenous rights violations. So you can see the global order in Canada. UN is dictating to us, telling us what projects, energy projects we can go through. And this is a $10.8 billion dam that's proposed, and it was the UN Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination who made that claim. So this is what's going on. It shows that we're losing our sovereignty. The UN is dictating to us, and it's very troubling. But I'm going to get further into that. But it's very disconcerting. It should be noted that the UN Human Rights Commission is made up of some of the worst human rights violators in the world. Saudi Arabia, Afghanistan, Venezuela, Iran, and so forth. Unbelievable. And I'm gonna turn now. I'm gonna turn now to this right here. I want everyone to see this. There's a lot of people in denial out there, but this is on the Government of Canada website. It's Agenda 2030, and it was September 2015. Canada and 192 other UN member states adopted 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And that was Harper signing on to Agenda 2030, which is all about the climate change agenda. It's anti-oil and gas. It's global communism, global world order. So you could see there's, getting mad at Trudeau and blaming Trudeau for everything is ignorant of the past, because there's a past there, and it's both conservatives and liberals that are behind it. To blame just Trudeau is very narrow-minded and short-sighted. And this is what Harper signed us onto. And this is being pushed through the Trudeau government. Thanks to Harper, everything you see going on is through Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, and now the UN Migration Pact. And it's all in this fluff language. There's climate change. Oh, no poverty, no hunger. But these are just cold words for global socialism. Sustainable cities, communities. They want to control consumption. They want to reduce inequalities. They want inclusive, safe societies. They want to take your firearms away. They want affordable, clean energy. This is what Harper signed you on to, our country. And I should add, National Citizens Alliance is the only party running in 2019 that is committed to withdrawing Canada from Agenda 2030 and Agenda 21. Remember that. We're the only party that has that position. And this here is Agenda 2030. And it's all about transforming our world into a big globalist village. It's a 41-page document. We've already done information on it. And then they have the goals up here at the end. There's a follow-up review. But this is Agenda 2030. It's all about climate change. It's all about transforming our world. It's about ending poverty. It's about inclusive, safe societies. These are all code words for global communism. And this is exactly what's going on in Canada. But it wasn't just Trudeau who's behind this. It's not just Trudeau and the Liberals. It's the globalist conservatives, the whole globalist establishment that is in bed with the United Nations. And that is the truth. If you only blame Trudeau, then you're just going to continue the status quo, because then you're going to put the globalist conservatives in, and it's just going to continue back and forth, same. There's Agenda 21. This is the root of Agenda 2030. So they're talking again about accelerate sustainable development in developing countries, combating poverty, changing consumption patterns. They talk about demographic dynamics. This is all fancy language. Promoting health conditions, promoting sustainable human settlement, integrating environment and development. And this is the root of 2030, and Agenda 2030 is the root of the UN Migration Pact. This is all about global communism, the climate change agenda. It is anti-energy sector. It is about global world order, erosion of Canadian sovereignty, erosion of Canadian citizenry. So, what you see going on with Trudeau has been going on for decades. And it was Brian Mulroney in 1992 who signed Canada onto Agenda 21, United Nations Sustainable Development Agenda. Remember that. The left, right, liberal, conservative narratives are false. The only purpose they serve is in controlling the Canadian electorate. Back and forth, nothing changes. Do your homework. The National Citizens Alliance stands in uncontrolled opposition, and we are encouraging Canadians to elevate to Canadian nationalism versus globalism UN. That is how you need to be thinking. If you're caught in left, right, liberal, conservative, nothing will change in this country. And this globalism agenda, this transformation of Canada will continue until we're eventually transformed into a UN-like globalist village. That is what's happening. The demographic data does not lie. So please get informed on all these issues. And I encourage people to become a member at National Citizens Alliance. Our website is nationalcitizensalliance.ca. This is our membership page. There's some videos here. There's a membership form, and you can choose a package. Or you can click this button here, and you can get a PDF. You print it out, and it shows you how to do it offline. So we encourage people, please join us. Go to our homepage right here. Just waiting for it to switch over. And I'm going to add one thing here before I close this off. There's a lot of myths in our society. Right now we have 2 convoys going to Ottawa, and they're divided. One is pro-yellow vest, one is anti-yellow vest. And that one anti-yellow vest, we believe they're called Canada Action. We believe they're caught up in the old way of thinking, the dinosaur way of thinking, liberal, conservative, left, right. But it is what it is. People are free to do what they want. But there's myths in our society. And I'm going to address a couple of them right now. But these globalist conservatives, they try to pretend that they are better for the economy, and they're pro energy and all that. That is nonsense, everyone. That is absolute nonsense. The facts show otherwise. And these are some of the facts. It was the globalist conservatives that signed Canada onto Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030. Those agendas are completely anti-energy sector. And we should note, Mulroney had a 4-year majority, and he failed to get fully past Trans Mountain or Energy East. There you go. If he was serious about those pipelines, he would have got them passed in 4 years. So there's that. But another thing too, none of these governments have done anything to get a major refinery in Alberta, Saskatchewan, to deal with the oil sands. This is a no-brainer. If we had a major refinery, the jobs would stay in Canada, and we would send out finished product. But They cave into international interests, special interests, so it's never been done. But we are committed to getting those refineries done. We have to. It makes logical sense. It'd be great for jobs, and we send out finished product. That has to be done. But don't get caught up in the myth that these globalist conservatives are any different than the globalist liberals. They're all pushing the same agenda, as Harper's visit to India showed. And I should add further here, there are a number of separatists out here out west. This is something NCA does not support. And this is completely illogical what they're doing. It doesn't make sense with Alberta separating. Alberta would be landlocked. How would it get its resources out? It doesn't make sense. How would you even get that through? And you would break up Canada. This is something we can't support. And this is just a failed initiative out west. And it just doesn't make sense. And, the NCA is concerned about unfairness. The equalization payouts, they're extremely unfair. And guess what? It was the Conservatives that legislated the equalization payouts in 1957. But we have a policy to deal with them, to at least reform them. So they're based on production rather than hand down. So look at our policy on that. And here's our website here. It says integration, not immigration. Canadian unity must be our greatest strength. And that's something we believe in. We want to unite all Canadians. We oppose this divisive, toxic, politically correct environment in Canada. And we will dialogue with anyone. And we're fed up with the lies, the misinformation. And we will expose anyone who's a globalist. And that's what we're doing. We're shining the light into the darkness. So I hope you found this informative. And please share our message. And please join NCA so we can clean up the absolute mess in Canada that has been going on for decades, decades, and decades. Thank you very much.